Great, guys. Hope you're well and welcome to another video. So I'm doing a midweek analysis of GBPAUD just to kind of show you my perspective and what happened like the last 2 days, and also just some of the trades that I took. And then I'm going to be out for the rest of the week, guys. I might drop a video on Friday, but I'm not going to trade at all. But I'll do another analysis video, and then I'm going to do another analysis video on Sunday for a pre-week analysis of GBPAUD. Okay, guys. So let's look at what happened this week. So I'm literally just on the daily now, and the week started right here. So you can see we found support at the supportive region. Remember, I drew the daily supportive region right here on the previous video. And then I told you guys either we're going to get a reaction and a bullish continuation or a break. That's all that can happen. The market only moves two ways. And fortunately, we got a break. So there was a ton of opportunities to sell the market. So going onto the 4 hour, on Monday, I actually took buys, but I took a break-even trade, and it wasn't surprising at all. Okay, so yeah, we started literally here, and I took a buy, I think, from this region here. Let me just drop down to the lower time frame, but I'm not going to drop down now. But I took a buy somewhere here, but obviously didn't work out. We literally tapped into a very nice support resistance zone here. Previous support. You can see all of the wicks here, and we tapped exactly into that region. But let me draw a box for you. Then it's better. Bodies to the wicks. It's perfect support becoming resistance. We tapped into that, and then we started to melt. Now, our first confirmation of the meltdown was when you identify, first of all, guys, I'm going to talk a lot about market structure, because market structure, again, is going to be key in everything trading related. Like if you want to do technical analysis, you want to kind of get a feeling for where the market needs to go to and react from, then you need to understand market structure. Market structure is really, really important. So we were in a structure level right here. The structure resistance was this top point right there. I'm going to delete this now. This was your structural high. Okay, what I'm literally going to do is I'm going to write this out for you as we go, because I think it's important for you guys to understand what I'm talking about. Structure high. That was your structure high point, and then your structure low point was this one right here. Let me just make this a bit smaller. Okay, structure high point. And then your structure low point. And if you identify the structure high and structure low point, from there, it's a waiting game for you. Like if you want to trade on the 4 hour chart, you can, but you have to be patient, because now you identified the range, you identified the wave, the lower low and the higher low. In this case, it's a lower low and higher low because we're in a downtrend, because the previous structure break was exactly that. Higher high, lower high, lower low, and we broke the lower low. So that's a continuation to the downside. Then same thing, structure high point, structure low point, boom, break the low point, continuation to the downside. But what do we want to do once we get a confirmation of a structure break? Then we want to kind of use a strategy or use something to get into the market. And in our case, I'm not going to exactly tell the strategy, but I mean, this was a very good zone to look for entries right there. And you can see we wicked into it perfectly before melting. And then, so that was a perfect opportunity, because now remember, after the structure break, we don't want to get in on the low point. We want to be patient again for a retracement. So it's going to look something like that. So you have your structure low point, structure high point, and then you kind of play around in here, and it like comes and tries again, and then breaks the low point. After you break the low point, what do we want to wait for? We want to wait for the retracement. Now, we don't know exactly how far the market is going to retrace, and we don't know because the banks at the end of the day are the guys moving the market. So we don't know, but we know there needs to be a retracement. There needs to be equilibrium in the market. The banks have to bring in balance in the market. They can't just move something just straight. It's impossible. So the retracement is what you should wait for, and then you should kind of figure out with your strategy, depending on what strategy you use, exactly where the retracement should go, and then get your entries. But the point is, there needs to be a retracement, and we want to wait for the retracement before taking entries for the continuation. So our entries would always be on the retracement. If it is, and now it's going to all depend on your risk reward ratios and all that stuff after entry. But I'm going to explain everything before the entry and show you guys what to wait for. And you need to wait for stuff like this, structure breaks. And it's on every time frame. It's not only on the 4 hour, it's just on the 4 hour, you're going to get your most, like you can even intraday trade, so take small movements, but if you have the direction of the market, it's very important to have the direction of the market. In this case, the 4 hour gives us very clear direction. So we had a break on Tuesday, and then we had a retracement all the way up to the supply zone and melt. Okay, again creating another structure high point and a structure low point right there. Okay, structure high, structure low, and then we broke the structure low again. Now, in our strategy, there wasn't really an entry in here, but what I waited for today, I caught a very nice trade on the 1 hour. So I like to trade intraday and day trading. So basically, day trading, holding a trade for 4 to 8 hours. A lot of times only 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on the pip count it gives me. But what I would like to wait for on the 1 hour is exactly the same thing. Structure high, structure low, but on the 1 hour. So I'm looking at the 1 hour waves to the downside. So let's use, I'm going to make this a lot smaller now. Bring this thing down. I'm going to take you through, since the break, all the opportunities that could have been taken and the opportunities that I did take. So yesterday we actually caught this move. I got taken out with my first positions. I was in with position sells and it wicked me out, but I got back in again and it gave me a clean 50 pips. I didn't hold it too long. I took a position and like I said, I held it for about 50 pips. Yeah, till about there. And that was my trade right there. And again, that was based off a structure break right here. This was my structure level. And it got broken completely. Actually, this was, but I never had the retracement. So I waited for the retracement and it retraced all the way up into my zone. So those are very nice entries. And then again, following the same structure pattern that I just showed you on the 1 hour, to identify now the 1 hour waves is really important. Just like on the 4 hour, but now on the 1 hour. So let's look at it if I zoom in a bit. So lower low, right here is your, sorry, let me do this. Okay, that's your structure low point right there. Look at the wick. And your structure high point right there. And again, look at the wick. Okay, that's the wave that it's creating. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, same thing. Downtrend. So it's, and you need to kind of teach your eye to look at the waves. And where did we break? to the downside. So after breaking to the downside, where was your selling opportunities? Back in the zone, because it needs to retrace. So right there was more entries. I didn't take that entries. Now let's follow it again. Structure low, structure high. Okay, after the break, structure low, structure high, right there and right there. And then we had another meltdown, and this is where I took my entries, was right here today. So this was pretty good entries. So you got your structure low point again after entries. Okay, after this break, I took the entries. I'll show you that now. Structure low, structure high point. And again, I'm just following the waves as I'm going. But the entries that I took today was actually right in here. Oh, yeah. So this is what happened. So the structure level today was right there and the high there. And it got broken to the downside, but it all happened so fast. So it happened in just before London Open. We had the meltdown, and then we had to push up all the way back into my sell zone. My sell zone, according to my strategy, was exactly this level right there. So that was the sell zone, and you can see we got a wick into the sell zone, but I took my entries a bit late, so I took it just below, right there. And I had like a 15, I think a 15 pip stop loss. It wasn't too small, the stop loss, and I targeted 50 pips right there. No, sorry, I targeted 25, 50, and 75 pips. So my final targets was 75 pips. And that also got hit during the course of the day. But again, there was even more opportunities to get involved if you identify the structure high, structure low point. So let's say you don't want to intraday, let's say you want to scalp trade. The same thing applies. So scalping, going down to the 15-minute, looking at structure levels, you could have even taken buys. Again, like look at the structure low point, structure high point. Let me just make this thing smaller again. So if you're scalping, again, you're going for very small movements in the market, but there's a lot of opportunities. You can trade the retracements and the impulses to the downside. So, but you can understand you're going to probably take more losses if you trade the retracement. I'm just showing you the example that there was a buy opportunity here, even if it didn't make a lot of pips. Lower low, structure low, lower low, structure high, lower high, right there. Then it got broken to the upside right here. So it got broken right there. And then you could have started looking for your buying opportunities. Now, according to our strategy, the buy zone would have been this whole thing. So it wouldn't have been lucrative to take, but it still gave you some pips. But if I refined it down on the 5-minute, we would have probably gotten better entries. But the point is, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then we got the trend reversal because in the bigger scheme of things, this thing is just tapping into another liquidity zone. And this was another perfect opportunity to take entries from right there. So this would have also given you a ton of pips if you gotten in there, right there, stops just above, and going for 50 pips. Yeah, you would have gotten it. You could have even gone for another 75 pips and would have hit it. So guys, the opportunities are endless if you can identify the market structure on the high time frame and identify where it needs to go. And for me, GBPAUD is bearish all the way, all the way. Now, what I do see is we are tapping into a nice 4-hour region. And this 4-hour region right there is very nice for me because this was the last resistance before the breakout. Look at the resistance that was sitting right there. Okay, high, and then we broke out and we continued. So this whole zone here is very, very important, and I believe we are going to definitely get a reaction from here. Now, I don't know if we're going to get a trend reversal from here, But for me to identify a trend reversal on the 4 hour, something like this needs to happen. So I have my structure low point. So my structure low point in the moment, and I always would advise you guys to trade in the moment. Don't look too far back in price, because it can help you, but actually it's most of the time unnecessary. So looking at that lower low, and then your structure high point would be the lower high, because that's the wave that's showing you exactly, and showing you like the candles as well. So that would be your range that we're in now. So for a trend reversal, for me, we would need to break the structure high point. And once we do that, if we can get a break of the structure here, I would be bullish, continuing up. And because then we're most likely going to break all of these previous levels heading up, or we might just push up into this liquidity, because there's a big liquidity zone up here, and might use that as targets and actually target that, and then look at trades from here again. But because I'm intraday trading, I'm not looking at massive move. I'm looking at the direction, and then going into the day, I kind of have a game plan of the direction and where it needs to go. So yeah, guys, I hope it helps you. And that was just a quick review of GBPAUD for the week so far. But what I'm seeing now is we are tapping into a very nice bullish liquidity zone, or demand zone, whatever you want to call it. But we might get a reaction here. But for me to confirm a trend reversal, we need to break structure on the 4 hour. It's really important to break structure on the 4 hour, guys. Look on the 4 hour. When we had this uptrend again, high, 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 low, high, high. It's very, if you can start seeing it with your eyes, it's very clear, guys. And you should just be able to mark the structural high, structural low, and then wait for that structure break, either to the upside or the downside, and then look for your entries. Don't just look for entries randomly in the market. It's really going to be confusing if you just go and look for entries. I know it gets tempting sometimes because you want to make money, but it's better sometimes to just wait for the perfect opportunities. Okay, guys, but enjoy your day. Hope this video helps. And yeah, guys, remember we have the fundamentals to trading course. So that thing is free. Just follow the link and you'll get it for free, but it's valued at $97. So I don't know how long it's going to be free for. We might just make it a price just because people is neglecting it, like, because it's like if you pay for something, you're going to take it serious. So yeah, we might move it up soon, just because people isn't really taking advantage of it. But yeah, but enjoy, guys. Hope you enjoy the video, and also subscribe. We're pretty new with the YouTube thing and everything, so subscribe, share it, and it's free content, so share it. Hey guys, enjoy it.